Hello and welcome everyone to today's episode of JoINrbs Plays League of Legends. YasuoYasui. In this game I will be playing Yasuo the Windwalker. And because he's a Zen champion, it's very important to stay in spirit. You're going to see me standing in Fountain for the first 40 seconds of the game here. Probably not the best. Team comps, we have a Janna Graves lane, which is sort of an interesting lane, because Janna's AD ratio actually makes Graves sort of extremely brutal. And that's against a Vayne Thresh. I think that lane is pretty irrelevant, but I don't play bot lane, so maybe I'm misevaluating it. We have an Ahri Yasuo lane, which I'll actually talk about last. And top lane, we have a J4 and Ryze. And my belief about the J4 Ryze lane is that we should ignore it because J4 will not be a champion. And we want to get the other people on our team strong. That's just my opinion of J4 as a top laner, but there you go. Alright. So, and Ryze has like sort of tried to connect to the game, but isn't exactly succeeding. We have a Shaco jungler, they have a Kha'Zix jungler. There he is. He's, I guess that's some sort of ritual. Okay. So, I'm playing pretty normal Yasuo runes and masteries. And I've started Darn's Blade Health Potion, which is pretty normal, and I'm starting Q, which is also pretty normal, although starting E is not like exactly abnormal. And the theme of this episode is going to be waiting for good opportunities to win the game. And I think Yasuo's a pretty ideal champion to do that on, because I can show you guys how good I am at CSing. But actually, because Yasuo is not a champion who makes his own opportunities very well. He's a champion who sort of sits back and waits for his teammates to make opportunities for him. So I think that he's an ideal mid laner to show a game of. Man, I am not CSing well so far. So I get like a little level 2 trade in here. It's not really good, is the thing. Like, basic premise of Yasuo's laning is that he doesn't have a huge amount of sustain. He has good resilience thanks to his passive, which gives him a shield every time this little white bar is charged up, and it charges up by moving. So that gives him some good resilience, but he doesn't really have great sustain if he goes into a sustained trade and loses She flashed. And loses more health than his shield provides. Like, this blue bar here with my actual health isn't going to recharge very quickly, although my shield recharges quite quickly. So Yasuo in lane tends to either want to go all in and kill someone completely, or have trades which are small enough that he doesn't really burn through much more than his shield, at least until he buys some good sustain. And I was talking about that for so long that my jungler already ganked, but basically what you want to do as Yasuo is you want to avoid medium trades and go for an all-in trade at some point. And Yasuo is very good at all-in trades, but he sort of lacks 100 to 0 damage. So Yasuo's like a pretty awesome champion to have a jungler gank for. And once he hits level 6, if the jungler has a knock-up, of course, it gets even stronger. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm just farming gently with my Q. Yasu is Japanese for something. That's what my girlfriend told me before this. Something about gentle stuff, probably the wind. Long walks on beaches. So she's sitting next to me and has to be quiet, and she's trying very hard right now. So yeah, I just waited for Shaco to gank the lane. using directed camera on Yasuo doesn't even work because I'm standing so far back that you can't see what's happening. Just waited for Shaco to gank the lane, and we just killed Ahri. And I think I probably could have gotten away with not flashing, but the kill is worth quite a lot more than having my flash up, I think. I don't know. Okay. So another thing about Yasuo and the fact that he likes not trading or he likes all-in trades is that there are some times when an all-in trade is just going to happen. So like when Ahri hits level 6, for example, it's very likely that some sort of all-in trade is going to happen. That wind wall was amazing. The fact that I went in for the trade to begin with was sort of questionable. So, as a jungler, it really makes sense to be near Yasuo when Yasuo hits level 6. If you have a knock-up, it's like even more sensible because you can like trigger his ultimate and probably get a kill. But yeah, I guess this is even more true of like the other team having an Ahri. You want to be near the Ahri lane when the Ahri hits 6, or want to be near the other team's Zed lane when their Zed lane hits 6, or etc, etc, etc. There are just champions who you need to be near when they hit 6 because the way their ultimate changes their play is so big. Okay, so here we are, and I have initiated our level 6 trade. She's not going to kill me because I walked it downwards there. I missed my like knock-up Q because she dashed through it somehow, which was absolutely ridiculous. And Shaco just is there. And he kills her. And I trade my ultimate and ignite for Kha'Zix's jump, because I'm a wonderful player. I don't know, I was expecting him to die for some reason there, but it was a little bit unreasonable for me to think that. So at this point we're up 1,000 gold, and like the other lanes are pretty even, I think. Graves is up 8 CS. Sorry, I should have done this before, but let's do it for you now. Graves is up 8 CS, Jarvan's down 26 CS because he picked Jarvan in the top lane. Kha'Zix is up a little bit on Shaco, but basically we're up 1,000 gold just because Shaco's ganked mid at 2 sensible times. He ganked mid once when he had double buffs and I had Q knockup charged, and then he ganked mid again when we both hit level 6, and the level 6 fight happened. And Kha'Zix wasn't present for either of those things. And now my team has won the game, basically. And yeah. There are a lot of champions which are like this, where just like knowing when the right time to be in their lane is. Nasus is a very good example, I think, where Nasus, you want to be in lane when he has like level 2 wither and enough cooldowns to wither twice before the guy gets to his tower, who's like often level 8, or you can be in lane when he takes his first skill of wither, often. But you don't want to be in Nasus's lane before he gets wither, and you don't want to be in Nasus's lane between the first point of wither and the second point of wither terribly much. Oh, you guys got to miss my sick wall hop there. That's too bad. You can hop this wall off the big wraith as your last hit on the camp. Is really hard to do. I'm trying to learn to do it consistently, but in actuality I get it like 1 time out of 10 right now. So this is an example of a time where like Shaco really doesn't have a gank mid. Ahri's playing way back. Shaco's standing on a ward. But the thought still counts. And like Ahri and I do both have ultimate, so it's still a very sensible place to be. Like some lanes are just going to fight more than others, and you want to be in those lanes which fight as the jungler. Okay, so jungler's doing nothing. We see Kha'Zix going up in bot river on a ward, so I ward him out. And I'm gonna farm the wraiths again. So wraiths are up every 2 waves, so I'm just like clearing 1 wave at tower, pushing the next one into her tower as quickly as possible, going and getting wraiths. Is basically what I'm doing right now. And should any situation in which I have an obvious advantage arise, I'm going to try to kill her. But just doing what I'm doing is getting me ahead. It's getting me up. If she isn't farming wraiths, I'm generating what? 25% more gold than her? Something like that. I didn't realize that I knew where Kha'Zix was there, I think. Had I known that I knew where Kha'Zix was, I didn't need to let CS go on that wave. Oh well. But yeah, I'm playing very safely. I just don't want to get Kha'Zix'd. And I'm like sitting on an Avarice Blade right now too. It was my first buy. And so I'm actually generating even more gold over her than I said I was. And it means that as long as she doesn't get to go back and buy items, it's pretty desirable for neither of us to go back and buy items. This one was awkward. You have to... I honestly don't know how I got that E. You have to like get the camera angle just right. I'm at 720p in the game right now and I'm not even sure I can get it right. I think you can get... I don't know. You have to click like right there to move. I think it looks more clear at 1080p. And then I play at 1960p or something. 1920? 2560 by something. I play on a 30-inch monitor. Alright. So boring stuff is happening in this game, basically. Our top lane has gotten obliterated because he chose, like, a champion who can't play into Ryze. Thresh comes in and lands a hook, which I could have windwalled, but I didn't think it was hitting. And a gigantic fight happens. This is really important. I stop my recall here, because there's gigantic amounts of fighting. And I understand that some players are like, I have 300 hit points, I might die, and so they just recall. But there are going to be tons of situations where with 300 hit points and my ultimate up, I can swing this fight. Also, I had a potion anyway, so I'm up to 450, plus my shield. How much is my shield? Let's go find out. Shield is another 140. And I get my shield twice, because it comes back up on the ultimate. But anyway, that giant fight happened, and it's largely my fault that we lose that dragon there. I could have gotten out of that hook. Alright. Ryze has decided to chase the graves, and here's like another example of a spot where like this guy is just completely dead. What's this guy all about? I could have hit my ultimate button there if I wanted, but autoing him again seemed like it was enough. As Yasuo, if you're proccing your own Q, you're like going to get another auto attack off. Possibly two. So you don't necessarily even need to ultimate. Your auto attacks deal a lot of damage. So this lane, bot lane, has broken, and so the supports are mid, which seems fine. We're still mostly farming, and we're just like waiting for their team to make a mistake, basically. So they could overextend into a Jarvan roam. It's sort of painful, actually, that Jarvan hasn't roamed. What he's chosen to do instead is roam into their jungle in the middle of their team. Vayne can overextend and get killed 2v1 by Shaco and Graves, which also happened. But basically not a whole lot of stuff is happening here, which is totally fine. Something I can do is swap with Graves and go split push against Vayne. I might not be able to kill her right now. Here Shaco just like misanalyzes the situation. Janna's back and they still have 2 people mid, so Shaco needs to not go in when Kha'Zix gets found there. I suspected that Kha'Zix was there. I mean, we saw Kha'Zix on a ward coming into there, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, actually. But I felt like Kha'Zix was there, I remember. And then we revealed that Kha'Zix was in fact there, and the correct play was to just go stand at the tower and wait some more, and Shaco instead initiated a 2v3. Like, places that... This is so greedy. That's pretty greedy too. So I just like Q ignited Kha'Zix, which very nearly killed him, but then instead it turned out that it killed our Graves. Jarvan is killing Ryze now for some reason. Alright. And finally, like, they get out of position enough that we can just double kill them. So let's actually watch that again real quick. So a big fight has happened, Kha'Zix gets away, and Thresh walks into me and is at 50% health. And I have a knock-up and he's like walking towards me for some reason. He's way out of position from Ahri here. I run faster than him, and rather than actually using my knock-up on him, he flays me backwards and I get Ahri. That's what just happened. But basically that fight happened because Thresh closed too close on me, and Ahri wasn't close enough to like stop me from walking into him. And just like a tiny positional thing like that gets me to go on Thresh, and then another slightly poor micro execution in the fight allows me to ultimate on Ahri. I didn't have my flash up, so I probably wouldn't have been able to close on her without that happening, or like Janna flash ulting her or something. Janna didn't have flash up either though. And we get a double kill and we get the tower. Alright, so all I did was sit in lane and farm for 17 minutes and then fight 3 times. I don't really understand why I'm dropping a bunch of frames and then not dropping them anymore. And honestly, I'm thinking about ending the video there, because there isn't a whole lot else to say. Meh. Yeah, why not? Alright, so for those of you who are desperately wondering at home, we went on to win this game quite easily. We like won a comfortable team fight pretty soon and take the Baron, and then I think their team just surrendered in this game, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I go on Ahri really soon, so maybe I'll stay for that. You can see like now I'm just 1v2 and like without Thresh here. Oh, I dropped an auto? That's sad. Okay. Well, she should have died. I didn't realize that I dropped my auto there. Without Thresh here, Ahri is just like fair game for me. I'm much, much stronger than her. Anyway, yeah. I just sat there and Shaco ganked at the 2 obvious times to gank. I did ping a ton for Shaco to come when we both hit level 6, and then I initiated a trade knowing that Shaco was at Wraiths. If Kha'Zix had been present, it could have like looked a lot uglier for us. Unfortunately, Kha'Zix didn't get there before Shaco got there. That's actually like an interesting point. But presumably in gold games, you can sort of, I don't know, you need to have some inkling of where the jungler is to go in for that trade, even when you know that your jungler's there, I guess. And then I just like stood around. Oh, like Thresh has done a thing again. Pretty sure I dropped an auto or 2 there too, but it doesn't matter. That's enough for us to get the dragon. Like, I'm just standing around and people are doing dumb stuff and I'm chunking them and taking objectives. This is a fun wind wall. I'll end it on this wind wall. So, yeah, Rise uses teleport and we have to leave. Wind wall hits nobody. Alright. I hope that you have enjoyed the video, which was titled something. Yasume in Japanese. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.